The approach to negotiation is the thing that is creating our biggest problem. We were successful in our preparation for this. We were successful at our mass meeting. We were successful in our communications. I think that the Board of Education did a great deal towards splitting the group when they denied entrance on last Monday night to the coalition group. I think that the report of the board should have been given to the coalition that was responsible for developing the program.
In any movement of this nature, that there will be those who are seeking power. But again, I say that I think in this instance that there is a difference of opinions as to how we can solve this problem. I can assure you that there will be demonstrations continued. Primarily, all of Atlanta is waiting word from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We are hoping to hear from him this week, and it is our opinion that he will select Atlanta, Georgia as a target. I think that if Dr. Letson and the Board of Education will come to grips with the problems that face us, and that is eliminating double sessions, not on a freedom of choice basis, but that if the administration will make it mandatory that these schools become less crowded, that is by dispersing many of the black children to Northside High School, Dykes, and other schools, that this will go a long way toward alleviating the problem.
Admittedly, it is a disturbing split in the organization in the Negro community, but I think that the goals and objectives are common. There's no problem about the fact that double sessions must go, and this is the issue. The fringe benefits of an assistant superintendent as well as an area superintendent are just minimal and insignificant parts of the whole fight. We must now remove these students from double sessions, and we cannot remove them by building portables. We cannot remove them on the freedom of choice plan. The Board of Education created this problem, and the Board of Education must solve it if the Board of Education must pay for these kids to be bused from one school to equalize overcrowdedness.
But I think every board member that was just as conscientious as he could be and tried his best to give and take, and I think we've done all that we can, frankly.
Negro leaders say that parents should not be forced to pay the transportation costs for transferring these students, that they didn't create this problem. How do you feel about this?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any possible change for that.
Is Dr. Bowen's new position a phony one, as some Negro leaders charge?
Absolutely not. We would not, nobody, not a single board member would consider the possibility of creating a phony job.
What will his work be? Will it be just a community relations job between the school system and the Negro community, as Negro leaders claim?
No, I don't think so. He'll be an active assistant superintendent just like the rest of them.
And doing what specifically?
Well, I'm not in position to say yet because we have not finished drawing up his job card, or whatever you might say. But as I say again, I think he'll just be an active assistant superintendent. There are plenty of things for him to do.
Do you feel the board has gone as far as they can in trying to solve this crisis?
Well, of course, nobody is satisfied. We think we've done all that we can, but we're open to any reasonable suggestions from anybody that will help us. Well, I'm sure the board would be delighted to take it. But we've spent hours after hours on this and done all that we can do for the time being, and so that's it.
We must have a public awareness that this problem exists. I mean, the Board of Education must firmly admit that there are inequities. And this they pretty much have done in their report. But then they must say, if in fact these problems are here, we must solve them. And when they say, for instance, in the equalization of overcrowding of schools, that they'll let children do this if they want to, it's almost like saying, if you don't like our school, go somewhere else. And it's no better than the program under which they've been operating of freedom of choice, and it won't work. Make it possible to alleviate these conditions, which are brought about because of the misuse of tax funds over the many, many years, not this Board of Education necessarily or even their predecessors, but over history. And so the way to correct that is to use some tax funds in another way.
Well, how would the busing be paid for?
Well, everybody understands the inability to bond additional funds at this time. But as far as operating funds, they know that the Board of Aldermen must provide for the Board of Education all the operating funds they request. And this by law, and if the Board of Aldermen were to refuse, then they could mandamus us to court and make us do it. So they'd have no problem making the monies available if they feel it's a legitimate expenditure. Of course, they shouldn't spend the money if they don't think so.
I have confidence that the Atlanta School Board, working with the interested parents and other leaders that are confronted with this situation, will resolve this question on a reasonably, let's say, unsatisfactory basis to both sides. I don't think that there's going to be an immediate answer to the problems that the school board are confronted with now. Failure to provide adequate schools in the past has obviously brought about an overload in certain areas of the city. It's my personal feeling that the Negro community does not have the same confidence that the white community has displayed in the past in the school board to correct these deficiencies. And there are certain reasons why the Negro community has a right to feel this way, because perhaps these conditions have not been corrected as rapidly. But I think an elected board like the Atlanta Board of Education, with able people on it, and dedicated to trying to provide better education, will within this year find a solution to this problem.
Are you satisfied with the responses made to the Negro criticisms by the board?
No, I'm not satisfied with the responses that were made. I think that we have got to find a way to do more, but then I'm not satisfied with some of the demonstrations that have been put on in opposition to the school board. I concur with some of the able leadership in the Negro community that is trying to resolve the question on a sound and a constructive basis and not making a rat race out of it.